ability, but discipline. You know, because that team, our team, for example, is underrated in that group. So our boys should have more steam to go and drive and fight for it. So if we could do that, and we do excellently well, it will be, you know, a fantastic thing. What I keep saying is that that team should be a team for the future, a team we will build in the next 4 years, you understand, that can now go into the semifinals or the finals. If we get our acts together, if our administrators can sit and look on a long-term basis and work with that team, work with the technical crew and build up. So this World Cup will be the test run. And then into the next World Cup, we'll be very, very ready. Yo, we're ready to take on the world now, right, but we can't go that far because we haven't got the experience yet. We haven't got the experience. The players haven't got it yet. This team has not even played in the Nations Cup. Have you forgotten? They've not played in any Nations Cup, the African Nations Cup. So we need to build them. So we shouldn't be pushing too much and expecting too much from them. They're a very good side, but they're young. So we just have to work with them.
Is it wrong for Nigerians to believe?
There's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong. But I am a very professional person. I look at things objectively. So it's from that objectivity, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not looking at it from a football fan base. Huh? Yeah.
You've been involved in football administration. Do you think this present board of the Nigeria Football Federation, led by Amaju Pinnick, are on the right path? Are they doing the right things?
Yeah, they are. Remember, they're picking up the pieces. So it's not easy. They've done very well. Yeah, they made some mistakes, but they're new in it, so it will take some time to get that. But they've done very well. They're doing well.
What do they need to do more?
Yeah, I think they need to address the league. They need to bring the league limited, and I think there's too much independence, you know. I think they have to be a bit radical in the changes in the development of football, especially our league, because the standard of our league is very poor. And it's one of the most corrupt league I've ever seen.
Tell me about what you mean when you say corrupt?
Yeah, because in that league, the best players don't play in the league. You understand me? It's a league where coaches collect monies to put players in teams. You understand me? So you don't have the best players in the country playing in that league. The best players in the country that cannot afford to pay to get into those teams don't play. You understand me? Even in academies, you even have better players. So it's sad, but that is the truth. You understand? So the Football Federation needs to work very hard, needs to be very stern to make sure that those things are kicked out. But, you know, it's a norm. So it's been there for years. Yeah.
But would you say there's any form of quality whatsoever in the current league that you see?
No, very poor. Very, very poor. Very poor. Our league is very poor. Why do we still use players? Why do we always have to wait for players to come from abroad? And then we have a classification of players. You call them home base, and you call some players professional players. That's really wrong. We should be able to have a league that can produce top quality players that can play for Nigeria at any given time. Because we've got the talents, but we haven't got the administration, the structure in place to ensure those things work. So those are the things the Football Federation has to put in place.
Do you think part of the problem is also because we have too much state-owned teams?
It's very, very bad. Very bad. Where you have government interfering in league teams, you can never ever, because whoever comes as a governor at any given time only wants to use it for his own, to sponsor his campaign for the future. So it's just a short-term thing. But for teams, you've got to project. It's got to be a long-term project, a long-term projection to work with teams, build teams, and then you have a future. But when you have short-term, quick fix, you can never develop. So it's a major problem. But the truth is, we've still got a long way to go. Because if we still allow governments, state governments, run so-called professional teams, They're not professional teams. They're so-called professional teams. They're not professionals. See, the standard is very poor. The environment they play in is very poor. The salary is very, very poor. You know, you can't keep those players for a long time. There's no continuity. Even what we had 30, 40 years ago in the league is far better than what we have today. And we're supposed to be progressing. So.
That's right. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're talking to former president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Anthony Kojo Williams. We're taking a look at football development in the country. We're talking around prospects and challenges. And he's talking about the league, which he says is very poor, and then we need to do more at charging administrators. I want to hear from you, Sports Tonight on Channels Television, on Twitter, Channels_Sports, Facebook, Channels-Sports. Keep it the hashtag very simple, football in Nigeria. Mr. Kojo Williams is still with us. I'm waiting to get those messages from you, Sports Tonight on Channels TV. We'll go on a quick break now. But before we go on that break, let me just feel his pause. Do you think we need to cut down on the teams to have a good league?
Not only cutting down on the teams. We need to cut down the teams, and we also have to set standards. We need to set standards. If we don't set standards, we can never have quality. So the standards have to be put in place. And then we have to go away totally from state governments, government-running teams. It can never progress. There can never be any progression with that. You know, so we need to go away from that. But first, we need to set standards.
We need to set standards. Very important, sure to say, because the man who plays the piper will dictate the tune. Sports Tonight on Channels TV. Let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, how can we brand our football to be profitable? Mr. Anthony Kojo Williams will tell us, don't go anywhere. Stay.